It has been a busy first month on the job for New York City's new police commissioner. Dermot Shea was sworn in December, on December 2nd, after rising through the ranks over 28 years. Shea joined the NYPD in 1991 as a patrol officer in the Bronx. The city that year had more than 2,000 murders. In 2018, the number fell below 300. Commissioner Shea joins us this morning. Welcome to the table.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Let's start with the hate crimes. The governor of New York said, given the incident that happened at the rabbi's house over the weekend, it was the 13th anti-Semitic attack in New York over the last 3 weeks. I posted on Twitter that you were coming on this morning, and I asked people, what do you want us to ask the commissioner? And Jorge in Florida said, is he going to put more people on the street to deal with hate crimes? Yeah,
well, that's a great question, and the answer is emphatic yes. That actually started a couple weeks ago here in New York City. Just 3 weeks ago with the Jersey City attack and that horrific incident, we stepped up patrols specifically in Jewish neighborhoods, specifically around houses of worship. And that has continued and now intensified with this latest terrible, terrible attack in Muncie this weekend. So you can expect to see increased uniform patrols as well as plainclothes patrols. We have units from our critical response, our strategic response group, as well as precinct officers patrolling these areas. Houses of worship will see increased patrols. And it's all with the backdrop, really, to keep people safe, but also to make people feel safe.
When you talk about increasing patrols, can you tell us how many you were directing just in that area?
Yeah, well, I will get, without getting into specifics of deployment, there will be many officers deployed on each tour when you're specifically looking at areas such as the 9-0, the 9-4, that's Williamsburg. When you're looking at Borough Park, when you're looking at Crown Heights. We will keep the Jewish community safe, and we have a zero tolerance when it comes to hate crimes in New York City.
People's nerves are rattled, as you can imagine, and now when we're expecting 1 million people to come into Times Square, what are you monitoring in terms of threats, and what are the plans to keep people safe there? Yeah,
so first I'd like to reassure people there are no credible threats specifically about this incident tomorrow. And take a look at the weather. The weather is cooperating for a change. Last year we were out there in rain parkas, in bone chilling cold. It's going to be a nice night. We want all New Yorkers to come out, enjoy it. Remember the rules. Get there early, use mass transportation, no alcohol. So leave the backpacks at home, leave the chairs at home, come out, have a great time, and you will be very safe in Times Square.
Good to know. You know, another story that has made national headlines that happened here in New York City is the death of Tessa Majors, a Barnard College student. And there was a 14-year-old that was questioned and released. What's the very latest with that investigation? Has anyone been charged?
There was an initial arrest within a day or two of the 13-year-old. That 13-year-old, based on the age, is being prosecuted in family court. I think that was widely reported.
Correct. We
have contacted, through attorneys, 2 other individuals. Those are both 14 years of age. We are working since the night of the incident, I'll tell you, Sharika, hand in hand with the Manhattan DA's office as well as the Corp Counsel for New York City, based on the ages of the individuals. The detectives working are taking their work very seriously, working methodically, and the investigation continues.
Some people have said this sort of reminds them of the Central Park 5 in 1989. What sort of things has the police department learned from that? Because we know those 5 that were charged and convicted were exonerated. But how has that informed the police department today as we enter 2020, and how you'll handle this situation?
Yeah, if you look, let me do the math quick in my head, probably 34 years, and a lot has changed. When you look at policies, how we investigate crimes, I can tell you that the detectives were conducting, for example, in the case of the first individual, interrogations, where we conduct interrogations now all on videotape, all of them, in the precinct station houses. That's conducted with a member of the family present.
And that didn't happen before.
In the old case, we were not at the same exact level in terms of having our own video equipment in, without getting into the old case. But you know, there is a process in court, and this will all be reviewed ultimately, and that's why ultimately we want to make sure that the arrest that we make stands up in court and we get justice for the victim and her family.
And really quickly, if we could ask you, we know that the Special Victims Division is currently facing an internal affairs probe. It does not have to do with the handling of the Harvey Weinstein case, but we know that trial is expected to start January 6th, this Monday coming up. How do you think that could impact that case, the Harvey Weinstein case?
The Harvey Weinstein case, ongoing case, as you know. I can tell you that when I came into as the chief of detectives, I'm losing track of time, but probably around April of 2018, conducted a review of the Special Victims Division at that time. Shortly thereafter, I put a new chief in charge of it, Chief Judy Harrison. I think she's done a phenomenal job leading the men and women of the Special Victims Division. I had the pleasure of being the chief of detectives, and I saw a lot of great work being done throughout that bureau. One of the things that stands out is that division. For the work that they do, for the victims in those cases, sometimes young children sexually abused, women sexually abused. I have the utmost confidence in the Special Victims Division.
All right, Commissioner Dermot Shea, thank you so much for joining us